Welcome back everyone to the July update for construction here at 191 Stratton Tce. We've got a lot of visual change this month. We had generally a pretty good month in terms of weather. On the 4th of July we did have a pour booked in, which we had to push a week. And that seems inconsequential, having a day out trying to line up the concrete supply and the trades for the next available day is a little easier said than done at the moment, so that whole pour got pushed back a week. But generally we're tracking pretty well. As we walk around the site in a minute, we'll give you a quick rundown as to the progress from our last report. In our last report we showed you this small area of concrete on ground level in the B2 building 2 area, which will house the gym and the dining room. Since that point, I think the ground slab here had its Rio in, so that's now all been poured. Most of our columns are poured. These are the latest columns that have still got the formwork shutters on them. And then as we continue down through here, this is our main building entry. You saw the ramp last report. We're forming up the angled lid that goes on top of the ramp to get our heights. At the entry there will have a vertical wall that'll pick up the level 1 slab above. Down through this area on the right here, we've got the refuse areas. The blockwork's being installed on those at the moment. The columns are taking it up to pick up the underside of the level 2 slab above. So moving around to the Stratton Tce front, again all this Rio was in last report. We have our manager's office that sits behind the first retail area, the smaller of the two. Then moving through this section of the slab will be the entry into building 2 and the area that the retail visitors will come through to access the basement. The Rio that's sticking up out of the concrete slab shows the outline of some of the garden beds that form the entry into the complex. Where I'm standing here will be the main gate that connects Stratton Tce to the internal section of the complex. And then as we move through this way, this will be the walkway that separates the two buildings that heads to the pool. And the steel's going in for the top deck of that angled lid for the ramp. This interesting piece of equipment here is what they call a spider pump. These are the legs that go on each of the struts. We've had to put the spider pump into the middle of the site because we're pouring from way over in Cardigan, and then it's able to reach the innermost extremities of the site. Without this, the biggest boom that we could get wouldn't make it to the edge of the site.
Okay, so just walking down the ramp into the basement, the owners that live in building 2 would turn into the right to their car parks, and the owners within building 1 would turn left to go into their car parks. So as you can see, the rest of building 1 basement slab has now been poured completely. That's allowed us to start prepping for the ground slab above, and you can see the formwork being started over on the left hand side there. Whilst we're prepping for the ground slab for building 1, underneath building 2, we've started to strip the formwork from the slab above and put in the back props that will stay there for a little bit longer whilst the slab gets its full strength.
Thanks for tuning in for the July update. By the August update, we'll have poured most of the building 1 and central spine ground slab, so that'll be quite interesting to see all that come together. Everything's going really well on site. It's very interesting from our point of view, and the site team's getting along really well. So all is well at 191 Stratton Tce.